FibroTV, making positive connections in the chronic illness community. You're listening to the Daily Dose of Health and Wellness with Jen Reynolds.
FibroTV, making positive connections in the chronic illness community.
My body hurts.
The information contained on FibroTV.com is meant for information and entertainment purposes only. Any information via audio, video, or print material should in no way replace any advice or direction given to you from your personal physician or medical caregiver. Please consult your physician for specific treatment options.
My headache hurts. I've tried aspirin, Advil, extra strength, Tylenol and such. Nothing seems to keep.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Jen Reynolds, creator and founder of FibroTV.com. Today we are on the Daily Dose of Health and Wellness, episode number 16. And today we're going to be talking about food additives and chemicals to avoid when chronically ill. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. So today we're going to be talking about some very important information, not only for those that have chronic illness, but for everyone. We're going to be talking about food additives and preservatives and things that are just not good for your body. And these are things that can either cause chronic illness, or if you have chronic illness, that they can make you a lot worse. So a lot of good information. Just a little reminder, I'm not a doctor or chemist or a scientist. I just get this information off the internet like everybody else. So if you have any questions or want to change your diet, make sure that you talk to your healthcare provider first. The first thing I want to talk about is something that we all love, and it's something that a lot of us are addicted to. And that is refined sugar and carbs. Now, we do need sugar in our body. It is a source of fuel and energy, and we do need sugar. But the amount of sugar that we're eating and the type of sugar that we're eating is what's bad. Refined sugar and simple carbs are horrible for you and cause chronic inflammation in the body. New research is revealing disturbing links not just between sugar and obesity, but also between sugar and chronic inflammation in the body. Inflammation, of course, has been linked to many chronic illnesses and diseases, from diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and now even heart attacks are linked to chronic inflammation in the body due to too much sugar. Also, many digestive disorders like GERD and IBS are linked to chronic inflammation in the body. And when we talk about sugar, we're not just talking about the sugary sweets that you're thinking about. We're also talking about carbohydrates. Now, we do need carbohydrates in our body, but once again, it's the type of carbohydrates that we put in our body. All the white bread and pasta, all that stuff is simple carbs, and they're high on the glycemic index, which means, guess what? They turn into pure sugar in your body. So what can we do if we like pasta and bread and all those yummy sweet things that we love as well? Well, one of the things you could do is buy 100% whole grain pasta and breads. Also, if you have a sweet tooth, try grabbing a piece of fruit instead of candy. It's amazing when you stop eating sugar how sweet fruit tastes, because your palate changes after a while. Once you get all that bad sugar out of your system, the refined sugar, things like honey and bananas and watermelon, they taste like candy, and you won't even miss those sugary treats. And because the sugar is not refined and it's natural, It's low on the glycemic index, which means it will moderately rise your blood sugar levels and not spike your blood sugar. If you're eating foods that are lower on the glycemic index, you're not going to have that spike, and what happens is you don't have as much chronic inflammation in the body. Of course, everything you want to eat in moderation, even if it is a natural sugar like fruits and vegetables, match it up with a protein so that your blood sugar does not spike. That also does help. The next thing I want to talk about is something that is not natural. It's called MSG, or monosodium gluconate. When people think of MSG, a lot of people think of Chinese food, and sometimes people will even ask for no MSG in their food when they go to Chinese places, or ask if they have it, because many people have reactions to it. But the truth is, MSG is in countless products that are in the grocery stores, and it's something that you really want to look for in packaged products especially. Contrary to what food producers would have you think, MSG isn't some completely harmless ingredient that just makes your food taste better. Mounting research has connected this toxin to numerous health issues, including obesity, ADHD, and even cancer. I know from my own personal experience, if I eat MSG, I immediately start having fibromyalgia symptoms within a half of an hour, and I get headaches and dizziness. So it does affect some people. That doesn't mean it affects everyone, but it does affect some. And especially if you have chronic illness, you want to get away from as many chemicals as possible in your food. They're just going to affect you in a negative way. Even though a lot of studies have not been done on humans, there have been other studies done, especially on rats. And obesity was one huge problem when given MSG to rats. In fact, when researchers do studies on obesity in rats, they use MSG to make the rats big and obese. That is their protocol. They give the rats MSG to make them fat. MSG experts have also sought to establish a connection between prenatal MSG consumption and the current childhood obesity rates. So once again, if you are eating processed food or packaged food, you want to look on the back of the package and make sure that there is no MSG or monosodium gluconate when you're purchasing your food at the grocery store. The next substance I want to talk about is aspartame. Aspartame is by far one of the most dangerous substances on the market. You've probably heard that diet sodas are bad for you, and that's because most diet sodas do have aspartame in them. They cause a host of symptoms. Some of them mimic fibromyalgia and multiple sclerosis. There have been cases of people giving up their diet sodas and their fibromyalgia being completely cured, and their multiple sclerosis being completely cured. Now, that doesn't mean that they had those conditions. That means that they were having a reaction to aspartame. So it's not something that you want in your diet at all. Some other symptoms of aspartame poisoning are shooting pain, spasms, numbness in your legs, cramps, vertigo, dizziness, headaches, tendinitis, joint pain, depression, anxiety attacks, slurred speech, blurred vision, and memory loss. So it is not something that is worth being in your diet. And I've seen a lot of people, when I post things about aspartame on FibroTV.com's Facebook wall, say, you know what, I have fibromyalgia, I'm in pain, this is my one vice, is my diet sodas. Well, that one vice might be the one reason why you are in so much pain, and it is not worth it. Your health is not worth it. You don't have to be in as much pain. Many people that have given it up have at least reduced their symptoms by 50%. And it's very hard to come off of. It's very addicting. The caffeine and the aspartame together are very, very addicting, and it's very hard to come off of. You're going to have headaches and all kinds of problems coming off of it. Some people have to go off of it slowly, like a drug. So yes, that's one of the things I would not even touch a diet soda can, having fibromyalgia and lupus. The last thing I want to talk about, and it's kind of going back to the first thing we talked about, sugar, is high fructose corn syrup. Now, there's been a lot of controversy about this being okay for you and it not being okay for you, and been a real subject of debate, and even, the food industry has put out commercials saying that it's perfectly safe and it's natural and it comes from corn, and the food industry has spent millions of dollars in trying to get people to believe that high fructose corn syrup is completely natural and completely safe in your food. It's very important to know that high fructose corn syrup and cane sugar are not biochemically identical or processed the same way in the body. High fructose corn syrup is an industrial food product and far from natural or naturally occurring substance. It is extracted from corn stalks through a process that is so secretive that the food industry does not want the public to know about it. Why is it being kept secret? Because it's probably harmful to the body. High fructose corn syrup requires more energy to be absorbed by the gut and soaks up 2 phosphorus molecules from ATP, our body's energy source. This depletes the energy fuel source, or ATP, in our gut required to maintain the integrity of our intestinal lining. Little tight junctions cement each intestinal cell together, preventing food and bacteria from leaking across the intestinal membrane and triggering an immune reaction and body-wide inflammation. So, high fructose corn syrup causes chronic inflammation in the body as well. Also, high doses of high fructose corn syrup have been proven to literally punch holes in the intestinal lining, allowing nasty byproducts and other toxic gut bacteria and partially digested food proteins to enter your bloodstream and trigger the inflammation that we know as the root of obesity, diabetes, cancer, heart disease, dementia, and accelerated aging. So a lot of you have heard about leaky gut syndrome, and they are blaming that on high fructose corn syrup. So as you can see, it might not be as safe as those little commercials that they've spent millions of dollars on are telling you. We have just touched base on a few of the things that aren't good for you that is in our food source. The best way to avoid things that aren't good for you is to eat natural foods. Natural foods come from the earth. They're not packaged. You get them on the outside of the store, like your fresh meats, dairy, and fruits and vegetables. All that stuff in the middle, it's packaged and it has a lot of byproducts in it, and it's hard on the body to digest it. So if you're chronically ill, it's going to make you feel a little bit worse. So I just wanted to touch base on a few things.
My body hurts.
Well, that concludes today's podcast, The Daily Dose of Health and Wellness, episode number 16. I want to thank you for listening today, and also I want to let you guys all know about our wonderful Facebook page. It's at facebook.com/FibroTV. We've got over 26,000 people connecting together in a positive way, and we have lots of positive posts and informative posts for those with chronic illness and pain. Also, you can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/FibroTV, and you can find us on Google+. All you have to do is type in FibroTV on a Google search engine and put Google Plus afterwards, and it'll pop right up. We're also on iTunes under FibroTV. And of course, our very own official website is at www.fibrotv.com. Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to The Daily Dose of Health and Wellness. The Daily Dose of Health and Wellness is written, produced, and edited by Jen Reynolds and released every Thursday, right here at FibroTV.com.
My mommy is sick, but she's the best mommy in the entire world, and I just want her to get better.
FibroTV, making positive connections in the chronic illness community. You can find us over at www.fibrotv.com.